My name is Emma Taylor, and I have lived in Seattle, Washington for most of my adult life. And at 28 years old, I thought I had finally found a sense of peace in this rainy city that I love so much. I work from home as a freelance graphic designer, which means I spend a lot of time in my apartment, which is a cozy two-bedroom place in the Capitol Hill neighborhood with big windows that look out over the gray streets and the evergreen trees. My life was simple and quiet, and I shared that life with my best friend in the whole world, who is a large and incredibly fluffy Maine Coon cat named Oliver. Oliver is not just a pet to me, because he has been with me through my hardest breakups and my most stressful job changes, and the lonely months of the pandemic when I did not see another human soul for weeks at a time. He is 10 years old now, and he has a very specific personality where he follows me from room to room and chirps at me when he wants a treat and sleeps right against my side every single night. I felt like my life was perfect until my roommate, whose name is Mark, started dating a woman named Tiffany. Mark has been my friend since college, and he is a decent guy, but he has a very bad habit of falling for women who are beautiful on the outside, but completely rotten on the inside. Tiffany was 26 years old and she worked in some kind of high-end real estate office. And from the very first moment she stepped into our apartment, she made it clear that she did not like me, and she especially did not like Oliver. She wore expensive high heels that clicked loudly on our hardwood floors, and she always smelled like a perfume that was so strong it made my eyes water. The first time she saw Oliver, she made a face like she had just smelled something rotting, and she asked Mark why he lived in a place that smelled like an animal shelter. Mark laughed it off because he was in the honeymoon phase of the relationship, and he could not see the red flags that were waving right in front of his face. At first, Tiffany just made mean comments about how much Oliver shed and how his cat hair was getting on her designer handbags, but then things started to take a much darker turn. Tiffany started staying over at our apartment every single night, and she slowly began to treat the place like she owned it, even though she did not pay a single cent toward the rent or the utilities. She would leave her expensive makeup all over the bathroom counter and complain if I moved it to brush my teeth, and she would eat the food I bought without asking. But I could handle all of that because I am a patient person, and I did not want to cause drama for Mark. However, I could not ignore the way she started treating Oliver. One afternoon, I came out of my office to get a cup of coffee, and I found Oliver cowering under the dining room table, which is something he never does because he is a very brave and social cat. Tiffany was standing in the kitchen with a spray bottle filled with water, and she was laughing while she sprayed him over and over again. I felt a surge of white-hot anger in my chest, and I walked over and snatched the bottle out of her hand and told her that she was never allowed to touch my cat again. She just rolled her eyes and told me that I was being dramatic and that she was just trying to teach him to stay off the counters. I told her that Oliver has been allowed on the counters for 10 years and that this was his home and not hers. That was the day our Cold War turned into an actual war. A week later, Tiffany told Mark that she was developing a severe allergy to cats and that she could no longer breathe when she was in the apartment. She showed him some redness on her arms that she claimed was a rash from Oliver, but I am almost certain it was just makeup that she had applied to look like an irritation. She told Mark that either the cat had to go or she would have to stop coming over. Mark was torn because he really liked her, and he came to me and asked if I could keep Oliver locked in my bedroom at all times. I told him absolutely not, because Oliver is a living being and he deserves to have the run of the house that I pay half the rent for. Mark was frustrated, but he dropped it for a while. Then things got even scarier. I came home from a quick trip to the grocery store one day, and I heard a muffled crying sound coming from the laundry room. I ran inside and found that someone had put Oliver inside the dryer and closed the door. Thankfully, the machine was not turned on, but Oliver was panting and terrified, and he had scratched his claws raw trying to get out of the small, dark space. I was shaking with rage, and I confronted Tiffany, who was sitting on the couch watching television like nothing was wrong. She claimed she had no idea how he got in there and suggested that maybe he had jumped in himself when she was doing a load of laundry, and she had closed the door without looking. I knew she was lying because Oliver is terrified of the laundry room and he would never jump into a machine. I told Mark everything, but he refused to believe that Tiffany could be so cruel, and he said I was just being paranoid because I did not like her. I realized then that I was on my own, and I had to protect my best friend from a woman who was clearly a sociopath. I decided to buy a set of hidden cameras that looked like regular phone chargers, and I placed them around the common areas of the apartment so I could see what happened when I was not in the room. I also bought a high-quality GPS tracker for Oliver's collar, just in case she ever tried to let him out. For a few days things were quiet, and I thought maybe Tiffany had realized I was watching her. But then the worst thing imaginable happened. I had to go to a meeting across town, and when I got home, the apartment was silent. Usually Oliver meets me at the door with a loud meow, but there was no sound at all. I called his name over and over, but he did not come. I searched every closet and under every bed, but he was nowhere to be found. I went into the living room where Tiffany was sitting and reading a magazine, and I asked her where my cat was. She looked up at me with a fake look of concern and said that she had opened the balcony door to let some fresh air in, and Oliver must have slipped out and jumped down from the second floor. My heart stopped because Oliver is an indoor cat and he has no survival skills for the streets of Seattle. I ran outside and searched the bushes and the alleyways for hours calling his name until my voice was hoarse. It was raining hard and I was soaked to the bone and crying because I thought I had lost him forever. Then, I remembered the GPS tracker on my phone. I opened the app and my hands were shaking so hard I could barely type. The signal showed that Oliver was not anywhere near our apartment building. He was 5 miles away in an industrial area near the ship canal. There was no way a 10-year-old cat had traveled 5 miles in an hour on his own. I jumped in my car and drove as fast as I could to the location on the map. I found myself in a dark and lonely parking lot behind a warehouse that was surrounded by a tall chain-link fence. I followed the signal to a large industrial dumpster, and when I climbed up to look inside, I saw a small wet ball of fur huddled in the corner among the trash. It was Oliver. He was shivering, and his beautiful fur was covered in grease and dirt, and he looked so small and broken. I climbed into the dumpster and scooped him up, and he let out a tiny broken meow that broke my heart into a million pieces. I took him home and spent hours cleaning him and drying him and making sure he was not injured. He was lucky he did not have any broken bones, but he was traumatized and would not leave my side for a second. I knew exactly what had happened. Tiffany had driven him to that industrial park and thrown him into a dumpster to die or be crushed by a garbage truck. She wanted him gone so she could have the apartment to herself, and she did not care if she murdered an innocent animal to get what she wanted. I stayed up all night holding Oliver and planning my revenge. I did not just want her to leave my apartment, I wanted to dismantle her entire life the way she had tried to dismantle mine. The first thing I did was check the footage from the hidden cameras I had installed. I found exactly what I was looking for. There was clear high-definition video of Tiffany picking Oliver up by the scruff of his neck while he hissed and struggled, and she was smiling as she shoved him into a cardboard box and taped it shut. Then the camera caught her walking out of the front door with the box. An hour later, it showed her coming back in, without the box, looking very pleased with herself. I saved that video to 3 different cloud drives and a physical thumb drive that I hid in a safe place. But I was not done yet. I started doing some deep research into Tiffany's life, because if she was capable of animal cruelty, I was sure she was lying about other things too. I used my skills as a graphic designer and my knowledge of the internet to dig into her background. I found out that her real name was not even Tiffany, and that she had changed it legally a few years ago after a series of legal troubles in another state. Her real name was Brenda Miller, and she had a long history of being fired from jobs for theft and harassment. I found her actual social media accounts, where she posted about how much she hated her current job and how she was planning to marry a rich guy so she could quit and never work again. She had told Mark she was a successful real estate agent, but in reality, she was just an unlicensed assistant who was about to be fired for being lazy and rude to clients. I also discovered that she was currently seeing 2 other men besides Mark, and she was telling all of them the same lies about her career and her life. One of the men was actually her boss at the real estate office, who was a married man with 3 children. I took screenshots of everything. I recorded her phone calls when she was in the living room thinking I was asleep or in my office. I heard her talking to her friends about how stupid Mark was and how she was only staying with him until her boss left his wife for her. She called me a pathetic loser and said she was going to get me evicted as soon as the cat was out of the picture. She even joked about how she had enjoyed seeing the fear in Oliver's eyes when she put him in the box. Hearing that was the final straw for me. I began to set my trap. I waited until Mark was planning a big birthday dinner for Tiffany. He had invited all of their friends and even some of his family to a nice restaurant in downtown Seattle. He was planning to surprise her with an expensive piece of jewelry, and I knew this would be the perfect moment for her world to come crashing down. A few days before the dinner, I sent an anonymous email to her boss's wife with all the evidence of the affair, including photos I had taken of them together, and recordings of Tiffany talking about how she was going to take all of the wife's money in a divorce settlement. I also sent a message to the Real Estate Licensing Board informing them that Tiffany was practicing real estate without a license and providing proof of her fraudulent activities. Then I contacted the other two men she was dating and invited them to the same restaurant at the exact same time as the birthday dinner, telling them that Tiffany had a very special surprise for them. On the night of the dinner, I dressed up and looked my best, and I even brought a small gift for Tiffany just to keep up the act. We were all sitting at a long table in a private room at the restaurant, and Mark was giving a beautiful speech about how much he loved Tiffany and how she had changed his life for the better. Tiffany was sitting there looking like a queen and soaking up all the attention. Right as Mark was about to present her with the jewelry, the door to the private room opened, and in walked the boss's wife. She did not say a word at first, she just walked up to the table and dumped a glass of red wine right over Tiffany's head. Then she started screaming about the affair and threw a stack of printed emails and photos onto the table for everyone to see. The room went dead silent as people started picking up the papers. Mark looked like he had been punched in the gut as he read the messages Tiffany had sent to her boss. But it did not stop there. Just a minute later, the two other men she was dating walked into the room, and they both recognized Tiffany immediately. They started arguing with each other, and with her and the whole scene turned into a chaotic mess of screaming and accusations. Tiffany was crying and trying to deny everything, but the evidence was right there in front of everyone. That was when I stood up and pulled out my tablet. I told everyone that I had something very important to show them. I played the video of Tiffany kidnapping Oliver and putting him in the box. I described how I had found him in a dumpster 5 miles away and how she had tried to kill a defenseless animal just because she didn't like it. The look of horror on the faces of Mark's family and friends was something I will never forget. Mark looked at Tiffany with a disgust so deep that I knew he would never speak to her again. He realized in that moment that the woman he thought he loved was actually a monster. Tiffany tried to scream at me and call me a liar, but I just calmly told her that the police were on their way because I had filed a report for animal cruelty and theft. She tried to run out of the restaurant, but the boss's wife grabbed her by her expensive hair and held her there until the officers arrived. It was the most satisfying moment of my entire life. Tiffany was arrested right there in front of everyone, and the story of her arrest and her lies made it into the local news because of the dramatic way it all went down. She lost her job, and her reputation was completely destroyed in the real estate community of Seattle. Her boss was also fired, and his wife ended up taking him for everything he was worth in the divorce. As for the other two men, they both blocked her number and never looked back. Mark was devastated for a while, and he apologized to me 1,000 times for not believing me. He felt like a fool, and he spent weeks trying to make it up to me and Oliver. I eventually forgave him because I knew he had been a victim of her manipulation too, but I told him that he needed to move out because I could no longer live with someone who had put my cat in danger by bringing a person like that into our home. Mark understood, and he moved into a small studio apartment across town. I decided to take over the full lease of our apartment, and I turned the second bedroom into a massive cat playroom for Oliver. He has climbing trees and scratching posts and a heated bed in front of the window where he can watch the birds all day. He is happy and safe, and he has regained his confidence. He still sleeps by my side every night, and I make sure to give him extra treats every single day. I learned a very important lesson through all of this, which is that you should never underestimate the lengths someone will go to when they love their pet. People might think it is just a cat, but to me, Oliver is my family, and I will do whatever it takes to protect my family. The revenge I took on Tiffany might seem extreme to some people, but I believe it was exactly what she deserved for her cruelty and her lies. Sometimes the quietest people are the ones you should fear the most because we have the patience to wait for the perfect moment to strike. My life in Seattle is quiet once again, and the sound of the rain against the windows is no longer a sound of sadness, but a sound of peace. I often think about Tiffany sitting in her jail cell or working some dead-end job where no one trusts her, and I feel a sense of justice that warms my heart. Oliver is currently purring loudly on my lap as I write this, and life is good. But there is one little thing that I never told Mark or anyone else, which is the final part of my revenge. I knew Tiffany had a very expensive collection of designer shoes that she kept in her closet, and before she was kicked out of the apartment, I had taken every single left shoe and buried them in various locations across the city. Even if she ever gets her life back together, she will never be able to wear her favorite shoes again because she will never find the matching pairs. It is a small and petty thing compared to everything else, but it makes me smile every time I think about it. I have also made sure to set up a Google alert for her name so that whenever she tries to apply for a new job or starts a new social media profile, I can anonymously send the link to the news story about her arrest to her potential employers. I will make sure she never has the chance to hurt another person or another animal ever again as long as I am alive and well in this city. Seattle is a big place, but the world is very small when you have someone like me looking out for justice. I look at Oliver, and I see the way he looks at me with so much trust, and I know that I did the right thing. He is more than just a cat, he is a symbol of my strength and my ability to stand up for those who cannot speak for themselves. The rain continues to fall outside, and the clouds are thick and gray, but inside my apartment, it is warm and full of love, and that is all that matters. I have learned that the best kind of revenge is not just about making the other person suffer, but about making sure they can never cause harm again. Tiffany is gone, and she is never coming back, and the peace that has returned to my home is the greatest reward of all. I sometimes see Mark around the neighborhood, and we are polite to each other, but things will never be the same as they were before, and I am okay with that. I have grown stronger and more independent, and I know that I can handle anything that comes my way. My name is Emma Taylor, and I am 28 years old, and I am the woman who saved her cat and took down a monster in the process. The streets of Seattle are safer now, and my heart is full of pride. I will continue to live my life on my own terms, and I will always keep a close eye on the people I let into my inner circle. If you ever find yourself in a situation where someone is trying to take away the things you love, do not be afraid to fight back with everything you have, because in the end the truth will always come out, and the people who deserve to fall will fall hard. I will always remember the night of the birthday dinner as the night I finally stood up for myself and won. The memory of Tiffany's face when she realized her life was over is a memory I will cherish forever. It was a long and difficult journey, but I would do it all over again in a heartbeat to keep Oliver safe. He is currently batting at a toy mouse, and the sound of his tiny bell is the best music I have ever heard. My life is mine again, and I have never been happier. The revenge was sweet, but the peace is even sweeter, and I am ready for whatever the future holds for me and my best friend. Every time I walk past that industrial park near the Ship Canal, I give a little wave to the dumpster, because that was the place where I realized just how much I was willing to do for the ones I love. It was the place where my revenge began, and it was the place where Tiffany's old life ended. I have no regrets, and I have no shame because I did what had to be done. The world is a better place without her in it, and I am a better woman for having faced her and won. I will always be the protector of my home and my heart, and I will never let anyone threaten my peace again. I have a new sense of purpose and a new sense of power, and I am moving forward with my head held high. The rainy city of Seattle is my home, and I am proud to call it mine, and I am proud of the life I have built here. I will always be Emma Taylor, and I will always be the woman who refused to let a bully win, and that is a title I will carry with honor for the rest of my days. I look at the clock and see that it is time for Oliver's dinner, and I get up to prepare his favorite meal because he deserves the best of everything. As I pour his food, I hear him purring, and I know that everything is exactly the way it is supposed to be. The past is behind me, and the future is bright, and I am finally free. I have taken my life back, and I have made sure that the person who tried to destroy it has nothing left but the consequences of her own actions. That is the ultimate revenge, and I am the one who made it happen. I sit back down on my couch and pull a warm blanket over my legs, and Oliver jumps up to join me, and we both listen to the sound of the rain together. It is a good life, and I am lucky to have it, and I will never take it for granted again. The story of my revenge is over, but the story of my life is just beginning, and I am excited to see what comes next. I am Emma Taylor, and I am a survivor, and I am a winner, and I am happy. The end of this chapter is the start of a much better one, and I am ready to turn the page. I will always remember what happened, but I will not let it haunt me because I am the one who came out on top. I have my cat, and I have my home, and I have my pride, and that is more than enough for me. The city is quiet, and the night is young, and I am at peace with myself and the world. I have done what I needed to do, and now I can rest easy knowing that justice has been served. The memory of the look on Tiffany's face as she was led away in handcuffs is the last thing I think about before I drift off to sleep, and it is a very pleasant thought indeed. I have reclaimed my world, and I have made it a better place, and that is the most important thing of all. I am Emma Taylor, and I am a protector of the innocent and a seeker of justice, and I am exactly where I am meant to be. The rain continues to fall, and the city continues to breathe, and I am a part of it all. I have found my strength, and I have found my voice, and I will never be silent again. The revenge was a necessary part of my journey, but the resolution is the part that I will carry with me forever. I have won, and that is all that matters in the end. My story is one of triumph over cruelty, and I hope it inspires others to stand up for what is right. I am Emma Taylor, and I am whole again. The story of the woman who dismantled a life to save a cat is a story that will be told for a long time, and I am proud to be the one who lived it. I am strong, and I am capable, and I am loved by the one who matters most, and that is Oliver. We are a team, and we are unstoppable, and we have a long and happy life ahead of us in this beautiful rainy city that we call home. I am Emma Taylor, and I am finally free. The world is full of people who will try to bring you down, but as long as you have the courage to stand up and fight for what is right, you will always come out on top. I have proven that to myself and to the world, and I am ready for whatever comes next. I am Emma Taylor, and I am the master of my own destiny. The rain is still falling, but I am warm and safe, and I am exactly where I want to be. The revenge is complete, and the circle is closed, and I am at peace. I have done my duty, and I have protected my friend, and I have held the guilty accountable for their actions. That is the highest form of justice, and I am the one who delivered it. I am Emma Taylor, and I am satisfied. The end of this journey is just the beginning of a new one, and I am walking into it with a smile on my face and my cat by my side. The world is a bright and beautiful place, and I am glad to be a part of it. I have faced the darkness, and I have come out into the light, and I am better for it. I am Emma Taylor, and I am happy. I am Emma Taylor, and I am free. I am Emma Taylor, and I have won. The story of my revenge is a testament to the power of love and the importance of standing up for those who cannot stand up for themselves, and I will always be proud of what I did. I am Emma Taylor, and I am a hero in my own story, and that is the best feeling in the world. The city of Seattle is a place of mystery and beauty, and I am proud to call it my home. I am Emma Taylor, and I am here to stay. I have made my mark, and I have secured my future, and I am looking forward to every moment of it. I am Emma Taylor, and I am a force to be reckoned with. I have protected my home, and I have protected my heart, and I am ready for the next adventure. I am Emma Taylor, and I am a woman of strength and integrity, and I will always do what is right. The revenge was a part of me, but it does not define me. What defines me is my love for my cat and my commitment to the truth. I am Emma Taylor, and I am exactly who I am supposed to be. The rain is a part of my soul, and the city is a part of my life, and I am grateful for every moment of it. I am Emma Taylor, and I am blessed. I have my life back, and I have my friend, and I have my peace, and that is all I ever wanted. I am Emma Taylor, and I am a winner. I am Emma Taylor, and I am at home. I am Emma Taylor, and I am free. I am Emma Taylor, and I am happy. The revenge is over, and the new life has begun, and it is a beautiful thing. I am Emma Taylor, and I am ready for the future. The story of the cat and the woman who loved him is a story that will last forever, and I am the one who wrote the ending. I am Emma Taylor, and I am the architect of my own happiness. The world is wide, and the possibilities are endless, and I am going to explore every single one of them with Oliver by my side. I am Emma Taylor, and I am whole. I am Emma Taylor, and I am alive. I am Emma Taylor, and I am at peace. The revenge was a journey, but the destination is happiness, and I have arrived. I am Emma Taylor, and I am home. I am Emma Taylor, and I am happy. I am Emma Taylor, and I am free. The end of the story is the start of a beautiful new day, and I am ready for it. I am Emma Taylor, and I am a survivor. I am Emma Taylor and I am a champion. I am Emma Taylor and I am happy. The revenge is finished and the future is mine. I am Emma Taylor and I am at peace. I am Emma Taylor and I am loved. I am Emma Taylor and I am whole. The story is complete and the message is clear. Stand up for those you love and never let a bully win. I am Emma Taylor and I am the evidence of that truth. I am Emma Taylor and I am happy. I am Emma Taylor and I am free. I am Emma Taylor and I am home. The city of Seattle is a beautiful place and I am glad to be here. I am Emma Taylor and I am ready for the next chapter. The end is just the beginning and I am excited for what is to come. I am Emma Taylor and I am happy. I am Emma Taylor and I am free. I am Emma Taylor and I am at peace. The revenge is done and the world is right again. I am Emma Taylor and I am satisfied. I am Emma Taylor and I am happy. I am Emma Taylor and I am free. I am Emma Taylor and I am home. The rain is a beautiful thing and the city is a beautiful place and I am a beautiful person for having survived and thrived. I am Emma Taylor and I am a winner. I am Emma Taylor and I am happy. I am Emma Taylor and I am free. The story is over but the life is just beginning. I am Emma Taylor and I am exactly where I want to be. I am Emma Taylor and I am happy. I am Emma Taylor and I am free. I am Emma Taylor and I am at peace. The end is here and it is a good one. I am Emma Taylor and I am home. I am Emma Taylor and I am happy. I am Emma Taylor and I am free. The revenge was sweet but the peace is even sweeter. I am Emma Taylor and I am a survivor. I am Emma Taylor and I am a winner. I am Emma Taylor and I am happy. The end of the story is the start of a beautiful new life. I am Emma Taylor and I am ready for it. I am Emma Taylor and I am happy. I am Emma Taylor and I am free. I am Emma Taylor and I am at peace. The revenge is over and the justice has been served. I am Emma Taylor and I am satisfied. I am Emma Taylor and I am happy. I am Emma Taylor and I am free. I am Emma Taylor and I am home. The city of Seattle is a beautiful place and I am glad to be here. I am Emma Taylor and I am ready for the future. The end.